Cryptocurrency has been pretty unstable over the last week or so. A lot of crypto users are confused about what's going on, what will happen next, and where we are in this cycle right now after seeing Bitcoin go up to $123,000 and then drop back down to $117,000. Well, when prices move in a way that looks like it did over the last few days, it usually means a big trap is about to happen. We're going to talk about that now. But right now, the most important thing I want you all to know is that now is not the time to get scared. You don't want to miss the next part of this cycle. Some old coins have been showing a lot of strength over the last few days. We've already talked about this with a few of the old coins, but the most important thing to remember is that we are still up 300 or even 100% a year on some of our old coins. As we look at some of the recent moves in this space, now is not the time to lose sight of what's going on and what's about to happen as well. XDC is up more than 200%, XLM is up more than 300%, Link is up more than 100%, Algo is up more than 100%, and QNT is almost at 100%. HBAR and XRP are clearly up more than 400%. Bitcoin is trading around almost 118,000, Ethereum is around 4,400, and XRP is $3.10. If we scroll down and look at some of the older coins, we can see that XLM is $0.42, SUI is about $3.80, and HBAR is about $0.25. In the past week, there hasn't been a huge rise in the value of all old coins. It hasn't been very exciting this past week. To give you an idea, Ethereum is only up about 5%, and Bitcoin is only up about 1%. Now that we think about it, the past week has been pretty dull. This week has had a lot of volatility because there have been a lot of wicks to the upside and fall. If you're thinking about boring price action, it's not really boring. More than that, it's just crazy. Prices are moving all over the place this week, and this is how the market looks right now if we look at the market as a whole. Let me refresh to make sure everything is correct. The market value is still around $4 trillion, and fear and greed are still around 57. The old coin season is up to 43 out of 100, which isn't too crazy, but we are getting closer to 50. But once more, if we look at the 24-hour gains, only a few stand out like OKB and Mantle. The rest of these are gains of less than 1%, like Flare, Sandbox, Gala, IOTA, and so on. Again, nothing too strange. Right now, there aren't many changes in the market for old coins. That's just because the market has been unstable. This is how Bitcoin has looked over the last 7 days. Again, that wick is a little higher than 123 Kelvin. It was 124 plus or minus 5 Kelvin. At that moment, everyone thought, okay, that's it. Yeah, we're going left. Again, on Bitcoin, we pretty much set an all-time high here, and we ended the week higher than last week. But this is the problem. A lot of people look at this and think, okay, that's it, we're going. When they see lower time frame trade, no, I've said this many times in the last few weeks, even months, and technically for the past year. To understand this market, you need to look at charts with a longer time frame, please. On the higher time frame, the candle closes to see if we are breaking out or not. When it comes to Ethereum, let's go back to the last 7 days. Not only does Ethereum not mind when prices move in the same way across the board, but so does XRP. Did we know that this move was going to happen? We knew that there would be a small sell-off. I actually thought Bitcoin would drop in value a little earlier than it did, going all the way up to $125,000. We woke up above the wick in July when I thought we would just get the sell-off from the wick. Now let's look at this again on a daily scale. The candle body closes are above all of this price action, and technically even above the July candle body closes. Why didn't we get away? That's because of the week. Guys, if we look at this weekly chart, this was one big wick to the upside. Now though, this sell-off shows us that we're in a trap. Before this big run, they want us to leave. We just checked out the main opposition, and in fact, if we look at where we are trading now, we are in big resistance at 119.95K. For this reason, we need a weekly close of more than $120,000. In the next 24 hours, could it happen? Yes, of course, it will be 9 hours and 1 day until the weekly candle closes. Without much trouble, we could see a big close above 120K, but the most important thing to remember here is the daily. Okay, I want to go back to the daily. I'm sorry. Every day. On a daily basis, we are keeping support around 117.02K. I'd love for this level to hold and for prices to stay in this area for a little while longer before we have another big run up. The more times we try this level of resistance, the more likely it is that we will break over it and close on or above it on a weekly basis. That being said, bigger time frame trading on the weekly is what this article is mostly about. We want to see a close of more than 120K. Another important thing is that we want to see a new all-time high broken after we get that close above 120K. 130K is the next level up here. I think we'll hit 130,000 as soon as we get a weekly close above 120,000. This is what I think the next goal is. But, you know, the overall price movement isn't anything to worry about right now. But this was a huge trap. We got rid of shorts that were going all the way up, and then we got rid of late longs that were going all the way down. This happens all the time. Liquidation hunts like this are easy to spot. And this is where a lot of people begin to worry. They are scared. Okay, what's next? They ask. We can see that there is support here if we look at the chart. You don't need to worry about anything. Is it even Ethereum? I drew a theory. I told you that we would probably reject off of the all-time high during the week when we start to really run. It's not likely that the first big move will take us over the all-time high. It's not true that we reached the all-time high. We came up just short, but we did reach the amount I was aiming for, which was 43,608. At this point, I want us to make a strong, quick move. That's for sure. It could happen again in the next 24 hours, or it could only happen until next week. But the main thing I'm looking at here, and the main thing everyone should be looking at too, is how close we are to getting all-time highs on a theory cracked. That will be huge for the old coin market. And it will actually wake up the market as a whole in a much bigger way when it comes to XRP. XRP completed our goal. Did it dry all the way down to our level? Not at all. And that's fine too. We don't need to. We made a higher low here on the daily chart, which is a very strong sign. We're likely to chop some more before that big crazy run to the upside. Around that point, we're just waiting for a theory to come out and for Bitcoin to make a big move.